Kane and Son obviously together as a partnership, full of goals. Son's full of running. But it's the midfield trio. It could be interesting to see Bissouma today, because he hasn't really played. He's been brought off the bench.
Yeah.
You know, he went to Spurs with a bit of hoopla, thinking he's going to be a starter, and he hasn't started.
Yeah, every top six side wanted him in the summer.
Exactly, and he hasn't started, so it's going to be interesting against his old club. It's going to be interesting to see how they do. If Brighton take the lead, I'd like to see if Spurs tinker with their system a little.
Well, this is only his second start in the Premier League, if I'm not mistaken. The first one was against West Ham.
That's right.
Were you a little bit surprised it's taken him that long to get a second start, and why has it been tricky for him to get into
I'm very
Conte's
surprised.
good books?
Sure, I've got to say I'm very surprised. I think he's a terrific player. For me, I think he can run that midfield and he can put his foot in and dominate. But Spurs have done okay, and when you're winning football matches, the manager's not going to change it. He's been even criticised by the manager that he wasn't up to the fitness levels, etc.
Tactical aspect, he didn't grasp it, that was what you
Yes.
said.
And it takes time. You know, when you come from playing under Graham Potter to go in the way Antonio Conte wants to play, it takes time to settle and you know, join in. You've seen it with big players at other clubs where it's taking them time to play. And Bissouma obviously coming in, it's, you know, Conte doesn't feel he's right, and now he feels he's right. And he'll have a point to prove. It's against his old club.
Yeah.
So he'll want to show that, you know, a little bit of a mind games from Conte as well, to say, go on then, this is your opportunity against your old club. Can you show us why we went and spent the money that we did for you in the summer?
Do you think it's also partially perhaps a bit of too much expectation and pressure on him as well? His transfer was the big talking point in the summer. That perhaps he put on himself.
Yeah, but his performances, you know, he deserved that move. He deserved that because he was playing so well for Brighton. But any time that you spend money and a big transfer fee, then the pressure's always on. It's just taking a little bit of time for him to go and stamp his authority into the team and get the grasp of what Conte wants. And I think this is a little bit of mind games to say, go on then, this is your old team, can you go and show us why we paid the money for you? And you know, he'll be up for this, and it'll be interesting to see how he goes up against, you know, McAllister and people like that in midfield.
I mean, when you moved from Blackpool to Liverpool, how did you then cope with the pressure? I mean,
well, it took me a little bit of time to settle. Not in terms of playing on the pitch, because you go and play your game, but I was given the opportunity early in the pre-season. I was given the opportunity in the games. First game of the season I was picked. So it was quite easy for me to then naturally, you know, go. But yeah, in training it was difficult because the level was extremely high, and you know, you have to get used to that every day, and your standards, you need to be there every day. I know at Blackpool you try and, you know, set the standard, but when you're at Liverpool and you've got your Gerrards and you've got Suarez and Carragher and people like that, you've got to try and be at that level every day to try and get into the team, and unfortunately for me I managed to do that, and yeah, I think that was easier for me getting regular games.
There's a lot that comes with it, Michelle. You know, just to move and playing football, that's where you're probably most happiest on the pitch. But the package of
everything else,
being at a club from Brighton to London, settling in, the family, you know, lifting them,
huge.
Moving them,
it's huge.
It is difficult.
It really is. The spotlight, the magnifying glass is on you. You know, you go to Liverpool, you go to Arsenal, you go to Manchester United, you go to Man City, you go to Spurs. You're expected to win. You have to win.
And you can't have an off day.
There's no off days. Even in training, you have to be at that level. And it takes
Conte's training as well, let's face it.
Exactly. He trains them hard, you know, to get the results. And listen, as Charlie said, they're close. They're very close. This is a must-win for Spurs.